we're on. So we're at Janet's house at the moment and we're helping Bella. Bella is a 7-month-old border collie, and never met the dog, but she's saying is very scared. And from what I can hear by barking, she's a nervous dog. So we're going to see the before and then we can see the after, okay? So this is the reality and then we'll help her through, alright? So let's check her door and see what happens. Bella is seemingly very nervous of other people, strangers, but good with people she knows. Just normal dog, happy-go-lucky, hello, not any badness. But with people she doesn't know, she's very, very fearful. So let's see how fearful. Hi there, how are you? Okay, so, and how old is she?
She's 7 months old
7
now.
months, okay. So this is kind of anybody that she meets, this is what you get. Coming in your home.
Even my friends
Even
who she's met before.
Alright, okay.
She's just...
Have you found there's been a certain number, like she gets, I've met you now 10 times, I'm starting to be comfortable with you,
no.
Or there's something that just keeps going and going? Okay.
Only the other week there with Mary, when Mary came in, she went to our mate Michelle's house, she actually sat down, but she wouldn't go near her.
Yeah, okay.
And I wanted her to be comfortable with people.
Yeah, of course we do. And the growling and barking, does that, as soon as then the person gets up and moves around, she would start that again, or she just will kind of settle down?
No, she starts that
She would
again.
start. So I'm not in her space, but I'm just walking around, just because she's doing really everything she can to just be away from me, isn't she, you know? And what's the background of her then? She's only like 7 months?
I got her off a farm up in...
Somewhere in East Kilbride.
Okay. But you got her from a farm.
A farm,
I'm-
like a fish farm, but it was connected.
A fish farm with dogs.
I know, but it was connected to the farm.
Yeah.
And
Definitely fearful here.
she was often there when we water.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, this is not something that this is certainly not something that you guys have created. Okay, this is something that came to you already in the box, already packaged. This was already there, you know.
There's another couple of dogs. They were quite nervous.
Oh, see you.
Except for one,
Peekaboo.
Mr. McDuffie called him.
Right.
And he was quite jumpy. I don't know if he maybe bullied him a bit. She's always been like that. Even when we brought her home, she stayed. She sat. She didn't move. The only thing she moved when I bought her a border collie.
Okay.
He's 4.
You've got one as well,
And
but yours isn't like that.
No.
Oh no, he'll jump on you.
Just walking around the room. So don't say it's okay, because it's not okay, right? But don't worry, there's going to be lots of things that I'm going to be saying to you going, no, that's wrong. And you're going to go, well, that's why you're here, right? But the reality is, you can do one of two things here, okay? So let's talk about science. You can either reinforce this behaviour, okay? That's called, you read online all the nonsense. Right now that's nonsense. Positive reinforcement. Just positive reinforcement sorts the world, okay? But you tell that to the person who's stealing your car, or trying to steal your telly, or your kid that's drawn on the wall, or your dog that's barking. Positive reinforcement is increasing the likelihood of it happening again. That's the definition of reinforcement, okay? So you don't actually want to use positive reinforcement with me right now with the dog, okay? Because I don't want to increase the likelihood of that happening again, which is the barking. So let's look at the opposite. The opposite of reinforcement scientifically, and we say it as well, is called punishment. Punishment is decreasing the likelihood of it happening again, okay? So, do we want to reinforce or punish that? We want to punish it. Now, that doesn't mean in the human world, we beat it, but we want to decrease the likelihood of it happening again. Now, you saying it's okay, is that reinforcing or punishing?
Reinforcing.
There you go, right? So, it doesn't mean that we are going to be nasty or bad or harsh, but we actually need to disagree with the unwanted behaviour. And I'm going to show you how we do that. And we're going to do it in a very gentle way, but we have to be, no, That's not happening. I know you're scared of going in the water, child, but you're not punching the swimming teacher in the face.
Right.
Okay? And so we have to help them through that. I know you're scared of the man that's came in, but every time you go, it's okay, you're saying, awesome job for being scared of that man.
Right.
Now that is where she came with the seed of being nervous, and you've grown that seed. Right? All unconsciously. You've not meant it. You love her and you want to help her. Excuse me if I can talk. You want to help her, but you're only loving her. You're not leading her. You know? So you're saying you acting like that is acceptable. So she's going to do it the rest of her life. And it would get worse. So the first thing we actually need to kind of do is go, see that? Think of it as that I always give the example of driver's seat, passenger seat. Right. There is no way in the world that I would let the human that is scared stiff of the road and cars be in the driver's seat. They go in the passenger seat. So they don't get to lead where we're going. But this dog right now is scared stiff of the human, for example, but we let them drive where we're going, right? Because we love her and we don't want to hurt her and we don't want to upset her. But she actually lacks leadership right now, not love. The dog gets probably more love than any dog in the world, right? But what love does, love only nurtures how the dog is at that time. So love is the reinforcement, you know? When you give me what I want, like you came in, she got excited with you, she was just kind of happy-go-lucky, and you're like, I'm going to reinforce that. Awesome. That's what you should. But then when she switched to negative, we didn't want her doing that, we first of all have to stop the reinforcement. Okay? And then, and she might want the reinforcement because that's her habit. So today you might see her, she might want to try and jump on you or jump on the couch, or because she wants that reinforcement of the bad behaviour. Because right now fear is a bad behaviour. It's an unhealthy behaviour. So just you removing the affection would be classed as a negative punishment, okay? Which is like the opposite of positive reinforcement. And we need to add that. We absolutely need to add that, okay? So we also might need to add a bit of positive punishment. So what I mean by that is adding something that decreases the likelihood of it happening again. So for example, right now, something that would be a positive punishment would be adding a leash. And then when she goes to bark, we give it a pop and go, no, for example, right? Because we have to, for example, I have to stop my child drawing on the wall before I can find out why they're drawing on the wall, right? I have to stop the person stealing my car before I can find out why they're stealing my car, right? I have to first stop the chaos, the barking, the lunging, the running, the flight. Your dog jumps between fight and flight. I have to stop fight and flight before I can actually help the dog. Okay? Or I have to stop your child jumping on the couch before I could teach them the piano. Okay? So I have to get them in a state of mind where I can actually teach. Does that make sense? So we're going to use some tools to help us with that. Like, for example, a leash. She's got way too much freedom when I came in, and she needs a bit more structure, leadership. And we call that place command. Maybe you've seen some of my videos and we do place command. Because what she goes is, somebody coming in, I don't know what my job is. But all I do know is when I've got fearful before, people have given me affection. I went, it's okay, it's all right, blah, blah, blah. If I go up to her and I just go, it's okay, darling, it's all right, it's okay. That's not an affection to her. She's like, whoa! Now, I want to help her, but at that time, using my positive reinforcement is not helping. That's actually hugely negative to her. Do you know what I mean? So I have to be respectful of that. But she's got way too much freedom right now. She's the scared one, but she's got too much freedom. She actually needs to be like, hey, you're here. This is what you're doing. And we'll go over that. See, all this. So the thing we don't want to add there would be like, good girl. Sorry. Because she's not being good.
Aye.
Right? So you can't give affection to bad behaviour and expect to get good behaviour. Does that make sense? You know? So I'm just walking around. Because see this in 6 months, we'll be biting people. Right?
I don't want that.
Of course you don't. That's why I'm here and you won't have that. But that's reality because if we're letting the fear win, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Okay? Good, good.